So we're out here at the former Yankee workshop, and this is my brother John. He's going to be making a project with me. Last year at Thanksgiving, John made a cutting board and he caught the bug for woodworking. So John came down from Chicago, and we're going to spend a full week making a student desk. According to this design, Matthias Wandel from Wood Gears designed this, and it seemed like the perfect thing to stuff into John's compact car for his long drive back to Chicago. So we're going to build the sides. Each side has a frame that makes like a module, and we got all our pieces measured and ready to cut. And of course, for my brother, I use nothing but the finest quality hardwood lumber, you know, devoid of knots and stuff.
It was not the best.
Ow. So first thing we're going to do is go to the chop saw and get started.
Well, these are measured out to 65 centimeters, so we get the line here. So what we did, we set it down, get the measurement just right on the chop saw, and then we set up a brace right here with the clips, and now all I need to do is just line these up with, line this up with the back here, press it up against the clamp, and it should be good to go. So we're going to cut all 4 foot pieces like that, then we're going to reset it up and cut all 4 side pieces like that. Sounded like a chime.
Oh, that's a saw blade ringing like a bell.
Yeah.
Now we gotta begin cutting our tenons on the end of our side pieces. So I set John up with a miter gauge and the guide against our fence to start the cut for our shoulders. And have John work on that.
I can do some pretty interesting metric to English conversion and back and forth for this one. So.
Well, that's what smartphones are for. So the next step, we're going to cut our mortises. We got the old mortising machine out, and we got everything marked and all set up, so all John has to do is take the plunge, as it were. So,
I'm not the only one with the bad puns now, okay? You've seen this.
It's a Colin trait. We are what we are.
We don't even have kids and we have all the dad jokes.
Yeah? Uncle jokes, I guess. I set up John with a tenoning jig to cut the cheeks off the tenons. You see how when he clamps it in the jig, he has to rest it on a wooden standard that's the same height as the base of the tool. John, let's see how that first tenon of yours fits.
Pretty good.
Good. We'll be cutting the shoulders off there so we can fit them properly, but we got to cut our way through all these cheeks first.
So we need to take a ½ centimeter off either side. So we've set this sled up. We've put a block here that's exactly the right width away. So right now it should be just automatic.
That's how you pull it to cut, not push. You don't even need to push down on it, just it'll, yeah. That saw is so sharp, you just pull and it'll feed itself.
Now here's the moment of truth. And it's not going to go in perfectly because we got to clean out the inside, but we did it right. Oh, look at that!
I like it.
We got these to a nice 22-degree angle. So now I'm going to cut on the table saw a little bit shy of it. We're probably going to have to do the rest of the cutting by hand.
So our circular saw was able to take it most of the way to our miter, and the rest we can just take out with a chisel, huh? We're starting to shape the foot of the desk here by rounding off the toe in the bandsaw. What I'm going to do is set the table saw up to make this cut, because it's going to curve into a straight line and then curve back out of it again. So I want to set it on top of the blade when it's lowered and actually crank the blade up while it's spinning to hit this line. what I need to do is precisely set up stops fore and aft so I don't cut past my mark. Sudden change of plans, John. We're gonna make the leg go this deep into it. Here we're drilling the first of 2 pegs that'll hold the back cross braces. Well, John, we've made it as far as the first glue up. How does that feel?
We're starting to get somewhere.
Yeah, it's starting to look like a thing. Well, throughout the course of the day, we breathed in plenty of sawdust, and we turned the air blue with wood smoke from our saw.
Tell you, my drive home to Illinois, I'm going to be smelling cherry wood all the way.
Yeah, we're using cherry wood for the base of this desk, and for the top we're using hard maple. And one of the joys of using cherry is that it just smells really wonderful while you're working. It's just a sweet, fruity scent to it. It's wonderful. Head of the game. We're pretty tickled because our mortises and tenons fit together rather nicely. You know, they slide in with the right amount of friction. I'm pretty pleased with that.
And for this step, he told me to work pretty fast because the bills are on in a minute.
Yeah, we got some football to watch later. I'm not a huge fan. I'm just kind of a local booster, you know.
He only paints his face, not his whole body.
I'm more of a baseball guy than a football guy, and of course, I didn't play either sport. So.
I played my share of both when I was young.
Well, I'm the tall guy. Everybody said, "Oh, go out for basketball." And I discovered I had no athletic talent at all other than walking. I found I could walk all day long, and I made a career out of that. Became a forester. There. Boy, those mortises go on nice. My dad is of a mind that Bessie clamps are the best things since sliced bread. And I find they're nice, but they're hard to get together and they're hard to get apart. But once they're together, they're great. You can use the clamps to squeeze them the rest of the way on if they're being recalcitrant. And you don't have to crank them as tight as you would suppose, okay? You get them on there good and snug, but you don't have to reef it with all your might on the other side. Here, take that rag and wipe off the squeeze out. So there's our first glue up. And this will be all dry and ready to go tomorrow. When we start in on the cross members that hold it together, you could probably, we have the top all glued up and we can sand the top and cut it to dimension. And we've got all week, so we'll keep going till we're done.